There was a Nintendo Direct a couple of days ago now. Thing was, that Direct was on Ash Wednesday, and I just didn't feel right posting a video on Ash Wednesday for personal reasons. Doesn't matter. Then the next day, I was going to do a video on the Direct, but you know what? I got distracted. You may have noticed this behind me already. I built a freaking Lego Winter Village fire station thing. I don't know, that was kind of fun. I kind of just needed a relaxing day to just, do something like that. I did record the whole thing though, and I should hopefully have that video be uploaded pretty dang soon. It's taken me a while to edit. It's a bit of a mess, but it should be good. So I don't really want to do a whole, crazy long edited video about this Direct because none of my news-based videos ever get very many views anyway, so it's not really worth the effort up front. And I have a lot of other projects I'm working on right now for this channel that are a lot more fun for me, so I'd rather spend my time there than on something here that's just news and I know it's not really going to get many views anyway. So I'm going to do a minimally edited just overall thoughts on the Direct real quick. Again, it's been a couple of days and everyone's opinions seem to have emerged by now. It seems like you either loved this or you hated it. I'm honestly somewhere in the middle, but it seems like no one else is. It's very polarizing. I thought it was fine. It's Nintendo news and we kind of needed it right now because, there isn't a whole lot to look forward to in the immediate future. And it was great to have some more Far Out reveals. So I'm probably going to end up skipping over pretty much all the third-party stuff here. Or at least most of it. Even some of the first-party stuff. I'll give you what stuck out to me. Just a disclaimer, if you haven't watched the Direct yet, please go watch it, because I'm not, for the sake of saving me time editing, I'm not going to be splicing in any clips from the Direct or anything. I'm literally just going to sit here and ramble about some of my thoughts. So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it, because you're probably just going to be confused if you watch this video without prior knowledge. Pyra and Mythra and Smash. Okay. I was really hoping to see another game series be brought into Smash, but I understand that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is very different than the original Xenoblade Chronicles. They're not exactly direct continuations of the same story. So, okay, we can have characters from both of those stories, and I'm actually okay with it. In that regards, it's just disappointing we didn't see more franchises in. But they've extended pretty far at this point. We have freaking Steve from Minecraft at this point. I'm not saying that Smash is not big enough. I'm just saying it'd be fun if it got bigger. I know licensing could be somewhat of an issue sometimes, and it's easier to just go with a Nintendo franchise that we know is going to be allowed anyway and not have to worry about licenses, so whatever. I honestly didn't pay close enough attention to the moveset. I don't really care. I'm kind of Smash Bros out at this point. I'll play it with friends, but I'm kind of sick of playing it on my own. I have plenty of other games to play. I highly doubt that anytime soon I'm going to sit down in front of my TV on the couch and go, alright, I'm going to play Smash Bros now. This is not going to happen. Oh, there's a new game called Star Wars Hunters or something like that. I have no idea what it is. The trailer was very unclear. I just see Star Wars and I'm like, alright, I'll try it. I don't even know when it comes out. There's also a new EA game that I'm hesitant about because EA? I don't even remember what it was called. But it was a bunch of people in a city and the art style looked pretty cool and they were playing knockout basketball. I don't even know what was happening. I just thought it looked cool and I was going to try it out because I liked the art style. There was a lot of games that I was just not interested in, and that made me kind of zone out for a while. And I don't really remember zoning back in until Breath of the Wild producer that I can never remember the name of showed up. Unfortunately, no news on Breath of the Wild 2. It's a little annoying that he showed up to then not give any news on that. But we are getting Skyward Sword HD, which I have not ever played a Zelda game other than Breath of the Wild, so I'm tempted to say, okay, I'll try it. But at the same time, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't look right. The art style, I guess, is fine, but I just expected that they would scale the graphics in a different way. It's mostly the character models, the face models that just, every time Zelda's face shows up on screen, I just cringe. Link actually looks okay. Link is probably the only character model I saw in that trailer that I was like, okay, I can deal with that, which I guess that's fine because that's whose face I'll be seeing for most, but I don't know. Every time Zelda showed up on screen, I was just, ugh. So maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know. Pre-orders are already opened I'm just not exactly ready to pre-order right now because I don't really know if I'm going to want to play it that bad or not. Now, on a different note, they are going to have limited edition Skyward Sword Joy-Cons, which those actually look totally sick. I want those. Like, even if I never buy Skyward Sword HD and never play Skyward Sword, I want those Joy-Cons. Unfortunately, those are not available for pre-order yet, but I'm going to be watching all of my local retailers, and I'm going to be trying my best to get those as soon as they come in stock, because if I can get my hands on them, because they look awesome. You know, I'm just gonna say right now, that was the highlight of the Direct. I'm not even kidding. There's such a drought of Joy-Con colors right now. I have gray Joy-Con and yellow Joy-Con, and I literally have not been able to find any other colors at my local retailers. They just like don't sell any Joy-Con except for gray. They had the yellow ones for a little smidgen of time, and I snatched them while I could. Now they're gone. Now they only sell gray. So I'm just happy that Joy-Con's getting a little love, and I hope they do more like custom Joy-Con like that, where it's not just custom colors, but there's actually designs on them and stuff. I mean, they do custom switches, but I'm not gonna buy a second Switch for a multitude of reasons. I also really like the idea of custom docks, but every time Nintendo's done a custom designed Switch dock, it has only come in a special Switch package or a customized Switch. I wish they would A, sell extra docks on their own. I've never been able to find those either. And B, sell some of these custom limited edition dock designs outside of the Switch packages, because I don't necessarily, or there's no way that I'm going to buy a second Switch, but I'd love to have a second dock that's maybe a special edition or something. That's just random out there. Now, the final announcement of the Direct at the very end really threw me off guard. So Splatoon 3 is happening. Now, I was originally going to do a Nintendo Direct predictions video before the Direct came out, but I ended up not doing that because I realized I'm really bad at predictions, and that would be a very terrible video. But one of the things I had already thought I was going to address in that video if I did it was that I thought there was no way in heck Splatoon 3 is coming. My logic is that Splatoon by nature is an updatable game, and there were updates for like a year and a half. But of course they cut off updates for Splatoon 2. There's no new weapons or stages or anything like that coming. But I kind of thought that was just, okay, an end of the hype type thing. I don't really know. I didn't really interpret that as a new game is coming. And just the nature of Splatoon did not seem like a game that warranted another game on the same hardware. It's the same concept as Mario Kart in my mind, where you know you're going to get a new Mario Kart game on each piece of hardware that's going to have some updates in gameplay, new tracks, and new items and stuff like that, but the core gameplay is similar enough between games that it wouldn't make sense to have two Mario Karts on one system. Now, the funny thing is I don't even agree with that own logic myself. I would love to have multiple Mario Kart games on the same system, because I'd love to have different tracks, even if it's going to be the same graphical style and the same game mechanics and stuff. I would buy a second Mario Kart game for a whole new set of tracks, but I understand why Nintendo doesn't do that. I understand why it's one Mario Kart game per platform, and I feel like that same logic would apply to the Splatoon series the way it's set up now, one Splatoon game per platform. So I had no doubt Splatoon 3 would come at some point. The series has proven successful. I just thought it would be on Nintendo's next platform. It seems weird to release it on Switch, especially from what I could see in the trailer. The graphical style is pretty similar. Now, I will say that the actual animations on the characters are much improved from what we saw from the few clips. The characters are much more lively and much more expressive. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe they made enough advancements to the Splatoon formula that they felt that they needed to do a new game to implement those and make the game feel that much more lively, the series feel that much more lively. I don't exactly know. I was also very confused by the actual turf war battle that we saw. It looks like they are changing up a lot of the game mechanics. So again, maybe that warrants a new game, but they added a new game mode to Splatoon 2 like halfway through its life cycle. Clan Blitz came later, that wasn't originally in the game, so I don't know. It just still seems really weird to me that we're actually getting Splatoon 3 on Switch. Something about that just seems odd to me. But then again, it's entirely possible that a mid-cycle or a mid-generation refresh of the Switch, whatever you want to call it, Switch Pro, is coming out later this year or early next year, and Splatoon 3 will be one of the first games to take advantage of the new hardware. It would still probably be available on the old Switch. You would just get enhanced graphics and assets on the Switch Pro or whatever they want to call it. And they could use that as like a selling point. They could go, yeah, Splatoon 3, but if you want the best Splatoon 3 experience, it has to be on Switch Pro. It's what I assumed they would do with Breath of the Wild 2, but it seems like Breath of the Wild 2 is not going to be ready in time for that. And honestly, presumably the beginning of that trailer was a like single player mode, and it looks a lot more like open than previous single players in Splatoon, and I don't like that. I think that Splatoon single player needs to be tight and linear. I think that's the only way it works, tight, linear, and chaotic. I also think the new Inkopolis Plaza type area looks very bland. That's all I'm going to say. It just looks bland. I liked Inkopolis Plaza in Splatoon. I liked Inkopolis Square in Splatoon 2. I thought it was somewhat of an improvement in the overall look of it. They're going for a like old shantytown type vibe, and it achieves that. I just don't like it. So yeah, we'll see when more details of the game are revealed. It's literally just a teaser trailer at this point. But first impressions, not really impressed with Splatoon 3. I don't think it... at this point, I can't say it doesn't look different enough. We haven't seen enough of that. Just what I've seen is bland enough that I'm just like, okay. Okay, I've been talking about Splatoon 3 for like half of this video. Let's go back to the things I forgot about. Miitopia. I mean, if it was a free game, sure. Or if it was very cheap, sure. But it's $50. And I cannot see myself getting $50 in value out of this. To each their own, I guess, but can't see Miitopia being something I'll ever own. There's also DLC coming to Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which, great, sure. It's just kind of sad there was no, like, hype, like, trailer or anything. They were just kind of still pictures on the screen, and they just kind of said it. I don't understand. It didn't really get me excited about it. I haven't been able to pick up Age of Calamity myself yet, but when I do, I guess I'll be happy that there's DLC there. I don't know, it just didn't have the excitement that I thought that they should have presented it with. Also, if you remember Project Octopath Traveler, which ended up being Octopath Traveler, it was a Square Enix game published by Nintendo where they kind of had a demo and they had you try it out, and then you could submit your feedback and they used the player's feedback to build the final game. It had a really nice art style too. It was an interesting concept, and they're trying that concept again, this time with Project Triangle Strategy. I gotta say it the way the lady did in the video. Project Triangle Strategy. I don't know, it was kind of cringy. But hey, I'm all for try out a demo and then use player feedback to improve the game. I wish more companies would go for that kind of thing, especially where a lot of classic game series seem to be ruined in modern times. Can't think of any examples offhand. I just hear a lot of that lately. Maybe they need to take our feedback. Who knows? So it's cool we get another project like this. But if you remember, Octopath Traveler was originally Project Octopath Traveler, and they said that was a working title, but that ended up being the title of the game, and that was fine because it sounded kind of cool. But for the love of everything holy, the final name of this game better not be Triangle Strategy, because I don't think I could bring myself to buy a game that is literally called Triangle Strategy unless it's like a triangular domino game, 50 cents off Nintendo eShop. Now that could be Triangle Strategy, but not an RPG like this. There's probably a million other things that I missed. I just kind of wanted to take some time to get out my thoughts about the Direct. Since everybody else did, I just thought I'd ramble for a little bit. So if you watched, I hope you enjoyed. If you want me to do more higher quality coverage of news like this in the future, let me know and I can do that. I just didn't really think anyone cared right now, so that's why I brought you this. Look forward to some hopefully more entertaining projects in the future. Bye-bye.